Hello, my name is Chris and I will review the 2020 Toyota Prius with all-wheel drive. The rear wheels are powered by a tiny electric motor to help with momentum off the line until 10 kilometers an hour and then pushes as needed until 70 kilometers an hour. Excellent for our harsh winters. The exterior design, somewhat associated with virtue signaling perhaps 15-20 years ago, is overshadowed now by electric cars. In 2020, the Prius exterior represents for me a maximum efficiency, and that is seductive. This red color is beautiful and given its hatch makes it a convenient compact car. There's plenty of room here, fold the seats to haul large items, convenient. Toyota is constantly improving their interiors. There's a good amount of room back here for normal sized people and good room in the front comparable to the standard fare compact cars. Perhaps overdone is this big screen which looks okay, though is not that sharp and is less impressive than, for example, the Subaru Legacy screen I tested a few months ago. The seats feel like they were designed for comfort and durability rather than luxury, suggesting perhaps a more commercial use than personal use. The outward visibility is mesmerizing, especially the side windows that are ginormous. This all-equipped model is quite expensive at $43,000 Canadian tax in the province of Quebec. Its rivals do not have the all-important all-wheel drive, and a growing number of Canadians only buy all-wheel drive. Prius is a special vehicle. You can feel the extreme care the engineers put in this vehicle with its thoughtful build quality and the ability to perform its core tasks so competently, with the exception of elevated road and wind noise at highway speeds, which was my only disappointment of the test drive when you consider the cost of this tester. The engine is a marvel in seamless transitions, so is the regenerative braking. I can see why people love their Priuses. I marveled at how little fuel Prius consumes in difficult and hot Montreal driving, a tour de force of this hybrid technology. And do not forget the 5-star reliability. Toyota stands alone in that regard. Toyota says the maintenance regime is the same as its gas-powered cars. Impressive. The engine-electric motor combo makes 120 horsepower and torque and manages 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 4.9 liters on the highway. But the all-wheel drive does not get the lithium battery, rather the older nickel metal hydride battery, and information available only on the American website, which is weird. Here are my thoughts on the road. Hello car lovers, driving the 2020 Toyota Prius. This is the all-wheel drive with electric motors. What to say about this vehicle? Well, we'll start with the outside. The outside styling is, I kind of like it because it's very scientific. It's pleasing to me that it's the most efficient shape possible. However, when this vehicle came out, maybe 20 years ago, it was kind of associated with a certain virtue signaling, I would say. We used to see Hollywood stars arrive on the red carpet. When I watched Hollywood movies, the guy driving the Prius would always be this guy who was kind of like the good guy. He didn't really have much backbone. That image is slowly but surely not as intense as it used to be. Other cars have replaced it. All electric cars, for example, I don't know, Tesla, the Bolt, things like that. This is no longer the virtue signaling. So the part that I kind of detested the most about this vehicle is really not part of the aura of this vehicle anymore. However, the problem with this vehicle in terms of exterior styling is that now Toyota, all its other cars are hybrid. You have, for example, also the competition such as the Insight, the Ioniq. All these cars are now hybrid. They're all getting excellent mileage and there's no more government rebates. It's full price. So now it's all out war. So the exterior styling has to compete against that. On the inside now, the ride. Well, the ride is excellent. I find the suspension is very high level, smooth, comfortable. This is the kind of suspension comfort you would get from a midsize. So it is above and beyond its compact heritage, if you want, on that level. The engine is not strong, as is the case with most hybrids. You are getting exceptional fuel economy, which is good, and that's the story about that. Little note about the fuel economy. I am driving in the war zone that is Lachine, with its lunar roads, which, by the way, the suspension is handling very well. I'm doing 5 liters per 100 kilometers. This is stop and go with lights that last forever, useless stop signs, crosswalks. It's nuts, right? This is the worst environment possible for a car. 5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is to say, I could drive this car for over 3 hours and it would cost less than 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that's incredible. It almost makes you wonder, why am I paying more for an all-electric car? This vehicle is really efficient and you don't have to worry about plugging it in. So that's kind of awesome. So Toyota really delivering on that technology. Interior comfort. Ross was making the remarks. He is basically over 6 feet. He's all legs, and he was sitting in these compact seats, and he said he was comfortable. And I have to agree, I am comfortable too, despite a noticeable lack of thigh extension of these seats. There's no lumbar support yet. I don't feel I need any. It's really comfortable. The leather is kind of the Softex leather. It's good. It feels very durable. It's Toyota. And it feels kind of almost commercial, like it's something I would see like in a business, right? In a waiting area when I go to the clinic. Well, let's say a high-end clinic, let's say. But all in all, I have to say it's satisfactory on that level. The leather on the steering wheel is incredible, very soft, very high level. So that's good. There's a lot of plastics here. They are slightly soft touch, but they're not refined. There's a lot of piano black. I'm not one to complain like many other reviewers about piano black, but there's just so much here. It's just too much. This screen here, I find, Ross makes the remark, it is better than what was there before. Yes, but I'm comparing to other vehicles that cost $40,000. And I'm not even talking about that giant iPad that Tesla has. I'm talking just the Subaru Legacy that we did maybe 2-3 months ago. It had a similar size screen, but it seemed to me the image was better, the resolution was better, the colors popped more. I think perhaps the navigation, I'm looking here at the navigation, it's kind of like low end. It's a bit complicated to use. It's not why you buy this vehicle, right? Although it may seem impressive here on video, in person and in its use, I'm not crazy about it. Ross says you get used to the controls after a while. I was looking for things before, and I don't know, it's just not intuitive. General remarks on the ergonomics aside, the visibility is kind of impressive. In the front, on the sides, these windows are giant. I mean, they're just giant. I mean, if you're parking and you're checking to make sure you're not going to bump your car and you're not used, you know, some people, they're always like this when they're parking. You're not going to bump anybody. You're going to see exactly what you're doing. Very useful, very practical for a compact. The hatch is very convenient too. You can get things in there that you wouldn't normally with a sedan. So that's nice. What else about this vehicle? Well, I would have to say that this has always been Toyota's upper tier technology in this vehicle for a long time. It's spread out along the product lineup now, and there is vicious competition that wasn't so before. This vehicle in Canada, equipped as is, goes for over $40,000. And now you're beginning to make choices economically, all right? You could also possibly shop a Toyota Corolla, which is much less expensive, which has just as good fuel economy, which perhaps doesn't quite feel as good inside, but nevertheless delivers. You get that Toyota reliability with all Toyota products, don't you? It is more expensive than its other compact competitors. However, you do feel that this vehicle can last forever. So it becomes the classic Toyota purchase. You are paying more for reliability. I would not recommend it on the lease. Neither would Ross. He makes a good remark on that also. You can buy it, especially for the long term. Ross and I, to a certain extent, make the remark that, well, when you buy a vehicle and you keep it beyond the payment, beyond the time you're making payments, that's money in, right? It's very good for the personal finances. So it's just very logical from that point of view if you're going to keep the car a long time. And that is the review. By the way, if you like this video, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. And if you really like it, well, you should subscribe. And that is it.